Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. Welcome to Three Buck Theater. Doing something a bit different today. Trying something out a little bit different. I've talked about the state of things in regards to like how I view the news and how I view where things are with everything right now, and it doesn't really seem prudent in my mind to make individual videos on things, but there is still stuff to talk about. So I thought what I would do is I would just fire up a live stream and talk about a few stories, a few topics at a time, and go over what's going on in Hollywood. Because even though movies have fundamentally changed, and who knows if they're ever going to come back to the way things were, to the way we remember them. I don't know that. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to go back to where it was this time last year, or hell, even in March of this year, early March of this year. And it frightens me because I'm a fan of movies. It frightens me because I love going to the theaters. And every time I drive past one, I look over at it and I'm like, I just want to go see a movie. But that's fundamentally going to change, which means that the way that we consume content, the way that we pay for content is also going to change. And honestly, now is the time for tech companies to step up and do something. Now is the time to push VR movie experiences. You know, instead of trying to release an IMAX television, why not? Why not release an IMAX VR headset? It gives you that nice high quality sound in your ear. You get a nice view screen. You get to lay back in your chair or your couch and enjoy something like that. I'm pretty sure people would buy it up if it's affordable. But the truth of the matter is that tech, even affordable, may not be the best. And also, thank you very much for the $1 sticker, Serenity. I appreciate that. So let's go into the first story of the day. And I do see Joey, you're asked there about Doomcock. We'll talk about that. Ask at the end when I get through everything. Just remind me, because I just kind of want to get through some of these stories first while we do this. It's kind of I don't want to say a rush job, but I don't want to spend like all day, because I don't have all day. I actually have to start work at 3. So there's that. Anyway. Netflix has been under fire recently. Netflix has been under an insane amount of fire from the right wing and a lot of other people, not just the right wing, about a movie called Cuties. It's a French film about a group of 11-year-old girls who form a dance squad, and it deals a lot with coming of age, with dealing with sexuality, and the dancing. And the dancing, in my mind, it's disgusting, in my opinion. I don't like it. And I'm a left-leaning individual, and I'm not a fan of it. I understand the story that they're trying to tell. I understand the message they're trying to convey. This is a heavy dig at Islam and how it treats women. The institutionalization and demeaning of women under that particular culture is the primary focus of what this movie is. But it's kind of layered underneath this child dance squad storyline and marketing and all of these things that are just completely wildly inappropriate, I believe. And I think based upon the clip that's being circulated around, the one of them dancing and the way that the director chose to shoot those scenes and that the DP chose to shoot those scenes where they draw your attention to certain parts of those girls' anatomy. I do not like it. I do not like it. I couldn't make it through the clip. I turned it off. And at this point, even if I want to see the drama of the movie and I want to see the story unfold because I'm interested in this, in the social commentary that it's trying to make, the controversy of which it has wrapped itself, the type of cinematography of which it has presented itself is not something that I feel I can engage with on any critical level or any moral level. And that is my personal take on it. That's my personal take on it. I find it to be wildly disturbing. And as a person who enjoys art, I don't like that feeling. And I say that not because I'm trying to justify watching this movie, because I'm not going to watch this movie. But I understand art can be uncomfortable, but it also has to be accessible. And when you are trying to convey a message and you make it so wildly uncomfortable that people will just outright overlook your message because of how uncomfortable it is, because of what you chose to put in this movie, I have issues with it. I just have issues with it. And a lot of other people do too, which is why right now Cuties is being heavily review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes. and other Metacritic sites. A lot of people are campaigning for its cancellation. They are campaigning for Netflix to edit the movie or to remove the movie. There are people out there running false narratives about how Netflix is losing money over this. It's not true. In fact, it's I think the number 3 most watched movie on Netflix right now. It's up there. And the thing is, the controversy only serves to benefit Netflix. It does. I said this yesterday on Twitter. The controversy only serves to benefit Netflix. It's not going to benefit anybody else because they have no one else has anything to benefit really. Yeah, there's going to be enough positive and negative press that's going to more or less serve as an absolute ad campaign, and they can easily frame it to say, "Do you want to see the most controversial movie of the year?" And that's really what it is. And right now, during lockdown, during COVID, when theaters aren't open, people are antsy and they're frustrated and they're angry and they might be drawn to controversy. And if they are drawn to controversy, then they might in fact go and watch this movie. But it's one of those things where they might watch it and simply just not tell anyone that they watch it. What we're going to have to wait for is whether or not Netflix releases the data from the first weekend, which would be this weekend, to determine how many million households watched this movie. And I think I think they will release this data too. It just makes the most amount of sense, especially if they're trying to defend promoting the film. I think they're definitely going to find a way to do that. So it's going to be one of those things. But anyway, right now on Twitter, we have the cancel Netflix hashtag that's been trending multiple times, as well as boycott Netflix. On Rotten Tomatoes, though, the aggregated Cuties score is about 88% from 33 verified Rotten Tomato critics. And I have a feeling those guys should probably at this point just kind of get the hell off of Twitter, maybe for a week, just let this shit die down. But audiences have given it a 3% from a total of 1,047 reviews, which they actually, they do go on to call it review bombing. It's the result of review bombing, which is where members of the general population intentionally leave the lowest possible review on a film or other media property to attempt to damage its commercial success. In this case, Cuties reviewers are trying to lower its score due to the focus of the film, which delves into the modern hypersexualization of young women, which I do think is a valid topic. I'm not a fan of that. And I think that in our culture here in America, when you've got these teenage cheerleader dance, groups and these tournaments and competitions, the stuff you see on those dance squads, I feel very similar are in line with this, and I don't like that either. But it is true that we have a very large hyper sexualization of young girls in this country. I'm not a fan of that. As a father of 2, it's only become more amplified for me. It bothered me before I was a parent. Now it makes my skin crawl as a parent, because I envision my daughters being subjected to that, and it just makes me upset. So this could be a conservative boomer take. You might not agree with me. And if you don't agree with me and you've seen the movie and it's not that bad and I just have a really bad take in your opinion, I want to hear it. That's the whole thing. Conversation is key. I'm not going to watch the movie, but I'm not going to judge you for watching the movie. Does that make sense? Like, that's your choice to make. And if I am fundamentally wrong, then in your opinion, then voice that opinion. I've had people attempt it so far. There was one gentleman called Mr. Girl who reviewed it, and his review made me exceptionally uncomfortable, and more so than what I saw floating around on Twitter. What really got me was his response and how it made him feel, and it just creeped me out. It just really creeped me out. So, you've also got Cuties, apparently, according to this comic book resources article, has now caught the attention of the QAnon movement, in which, if you don't know what QAnon is, hold on to your butts. QAnon is absolutely effing crazy. It's a popular theory in the United States that claims a shadow organization of pedophiles, like led by Hillary Clinton and John Podesta, are part of the country's ruling class, also known as the deep state, as well as the Hollywood elite. Like, there's this rumor that Tom Hanks is a full-on child-raping, child-eating Hollywood pedophile that QAnon is working to expose. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you at all. Look it up. It's insane. There's this guy named Isaac Cappy who had like a small role in Thor. He was from New Mexico. He came out a couple years ago and he was all like trying to be like the face of QAnon, and he accused Tom Hanks, and then he ultimately ended up taking his own life, to which case many people felt that he was killed by the deep state, killed by the Hollywood elite, killed by Tom Hanks because he was exposing them. Like, this is a legitimate conspiracy that is now almost 4 years old. It started with Pizzagate back in December, or really November of 2016, and it's snowballed into one of the weirdest online conspiracies ever. I don't recommend going down that rabbit hole, but if you like conspiracy theories, my God, this one is insane. So we'll have to wait and see where the dust settles on this one. I've heard reports now that what you have is Netflix potentially looking to re-edit the movie to tone it down. And I don't know if that's going to be good enough. I don't know if that's going to be good enough at all. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But in the meantime, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this one. I want to hear your guys' opinions on this one, because I feel that it's just crazy. I think that it's just, it's nuts. It's what we have to deal with here. Anyway, I wanted to cover the Cuties thing. Now let's talk about Sony. And Sony is not releasing any big movies until more theaters open. Sony effectively has run and hid from 2020. And that's actually probably for the best for Sony in a number of ways. So during the Bank of America's 2020 Media Communications and Entertainment Conference, Sony Pictures Chairman Tony Vinciquerra said, "What we won't do is make the mistake of putting a very, very expensive $200 million movie out in the market unless we are sure that theaters are open and operating at significant capacity," which, let's be realistic, that particular jab is aimed at Warner Brothers and Tenet. Now, this news broke yesterday, and this news is definitely one that I don't think anyone who follows Sony Pictures and their business and how they're not doing as well. They're really not doing as well as they want, despite what some of their fans will say. Some movies have done well, but overall, they're not doing as good as they could be. They obviously don't want to put out content right now because right now it's going nowhere. And yeah, Venom 2, Morbius, those are done. Those are in the can. Those are completed at this point. And obviously they're not going to put them out. They're not going to put them out because they want to make the money. They want their Sony Pictures of, Sony Universe of Marvel characters, or Sony's Pictures Universe of Marvel characters, the spunk, whatever it's called. They want that to be a success. And so they're not going to put that on VOD. The $800 million that Venom 1 made in theaters back in October to December of 2018, that movie, they want that success again. All right. They want Morbius to pull in at least $500 million because it's going to be tied into Spider-Man 1 or Homecoming, as well as into Venom. So they're creating their own cinematic universe. They want to play this up. They're probably pissed off because they're like, well, great. We can't use these two films as a lead-in to Spider-Man 3, which they're still going to. But Spider-Man 3 has now been delayed to 2022, and they are shooting, as far as I know, the Uncharted movie over in Germany right now, I believe. But it does make a lot of sense that after Tenet failed, because I kept saying this. I said that Tenet and Wonder Woman were not going to come out this year, and I was proven wrong on Tenet, I'll admit that. But Tenet should not have come out this year. Warner Brothers treated that movie like the canary in the coal mine. They took their $200 million summer tentpole blockbuster and they put it out at such an uncertain time, hoping that it would have the success. It did not. It only made $10 million in the United States on its opening weekend. American audiences, the domestic box office, where the vast majority of the profits are earned. If you look at the breakdown between the different countries and different regions around the world in the international box office, Americans are afraid to go to the theater. So Disney tried to put out Mulan. And I don't know what the numbers on that were, but after all the controversy over this past weekend, I don't think they were that great. So we're in this weird place right now where these gigantic tentpole movies are probably going to end up getting delayed. And so Sony is making the right move, in my opinion, to run Scare to 2020 and hopefully release in 2021. Although at this point, I don't know. Dr. Fauci said that it's going to be a year after the vaccine came out for us to be able to go back to the movie theaters and not wear a mask or not socially distance. So expect Bond, again, another massive movie, to get pushed back. Wonder Woman, we're going to talk about that here in a second, but like that got pushed back. All these big things are going to get pushed back. Dune is going to get pushed back. And it's the right business call. And I know it's not going to make anyone who's listening to this happy, but it's the reality of the situation. Now, what that means for the future of our entertainment, what that means for everything, I don't know, man. I'm going to have to wait and see on that one. I think it's going to be interesting nonetheless, but who knows where things are going to go at this point. I'm really concerned. So, all right, real quick, let's jump over and talk about Wonder Woman 84 getting delayed until Christmas. And again, they've said it's had 4 release dates now. So it coming out on Christmas, even then, nah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. I don't know if they're going to go with it or not. But they finally, because it came out a little bit ago that they were going to delay it indefinitely. And then of course they've now given it a week, a December 25th release. Although with DC fandom this weekend, you figure they would have been better off. Tomorrow, DC fandom part 2 tomorrow, they would have been better off announcing this then. It would have been happening during the hype of that. But I don't know why they did it today. So Toby Emmerich, who is the Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group chairman, says, Patty Jenkins is an exceptional filmmaker, and with Wonder Woman 84, she has delivered an incredibly dynamic film that moviegoers of all age around the world will absolutely love. We're very proud of the film and look forward to bringing it to audiences for the holidays. And yeah, I get that. Like they want to try to get in on that end year money because remember, Aquaman end year did $1 billion. A lot of that came from China. Are people going to feel more comfortable going out and seeing movies over the holiday? Maybe. Black Friday's been canceled at a couple places. I think Home Depot canceled it. Walmart is not going to be open on Thanksgiving. So their Black Friday is going to go back to being on Friday. We know the Cyber Monday deals are going to pretty much be where it's at. A lot of places are still not at fully functioning capacity. You know, they're kind of like the Death Star 2. And we don't know if they're going to blow up again before being able to get to operational status. We have no idea. Now, Patty Jenkins herself has says here, first and foremost, let me say how much I love Gal and our devoted Wonder Woman fans around the world. And your excitement for Wonder Woman 84 couldn't make us happier or more eager for you to see the movie, because I know how important it is to bring this movie to you on a big screen when all of us can share the experience together. I'm hopeful you won't mind waiting just a little bit longer with the new date on Christmas Day. We can't wait to spend the holidays with you. And again, we don't know if that's even going to be a reality. They were saying that Dune was going to come December 18th, 2020. I don't think that Dune is going to open on December 18th and Wonder Woman is going to open on December 25th. Even though that's a week apart, I just don't see that happening. Dune, they want to turn into this massive sci-fi spectacle. They're not going to want to run it against another one of their properties. As we saw in holiday season 2018, you had Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Mary Poppins, Bumblebee, and Aquaman all fighting for theater box office dominance during that month. And arguably, Spider-Man, the better movie of the 4, did the worst. Whereas Aquaman, and I loved Aquaman, so I'm not disparaging Aquaman, did the best with over $1 billion. Bumblebee, I think, teetered out at about not even 400 million, I don't think, worldwide. And Mary Poppins kind of crashed and burned. And again, if they're running these two movies against each other, that's going to cancel out their own profits, which is kind of dumb to do, but we'll have to wait to see what happens. I still don't think that Dune is going to make it out to that. So, all right, real quick, let's talk about the situation here with Ewan McGregor. Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Is it limited? Is it going to be more than one season? I don't know. I think as time goes on, I think as Disney starts to realize what they have to do in the wake of COVID, they might push this to being more because if they're shooting it right now or they're going into pre-production right now and they figure out how to do it with the volume, and that technology is probably going to be used for Thor, Love and Thunder and a number of other movies. I guarantee you Warner Brothers, Sony, Universal, Lionsgate, they're all building their own tech to mimic it right now in order to be able to still shoot in enclosed, controlled environments and still be able to produce the level of quality that they need in order to take this stuff to the big screen. But anyway, Ewan McGregor reveals that he's more excited for Obi-Wan than the prequel films, which makes a lot of sense. It really does. But let's this is what he says. Now he says, I'm more excited about doing this one than I was doing the second and third one we did before. I'm just excited about working with Deborah Chow. Are going to be really good, I think. I'm just excited to play him again. It's been long enough since I played him before. And yeah, I think he really enjoyed playing the character. A lot of people love Obi-Wan from episodes 2 and episodes 3. But I do think a lot of the love of Obi-Wan, a lot of the memes of hello there, have come a lot from the Clone Wars show. And I think if that's going to be influenced at all by Dave Filoni having some control over the character and I don't know if he's a producer on that show or not. I really would hope that he is. I think Ewan would be very happy with that type of storyteller behind the scenes working on it like that. Now he goes on to talk about the original, the prequel trilogy, and he says, our films weren't much liked when they came out by my generation who loved the first ones. I think people of our generation wanted to feel the way that they'd felt when they saw those first 3 movies when they were kids. And George wanted to take our ones in a different direction. He had a different idea. It was tricky at the time, I remember. But now, all these years later, I'm really aware of what our films meant to the generation they were made for, the children of the time. They really liked them. I've met people who they mean a lot to them, those films, more so than the original 3. And I'm like, are you kidding? Which is really funny because, yeah, it's a generational difference. And that might, I'm of that weird generation because I was 17 when The Phantom Menace came out. So I was 17 and 20 and 23 respectively. So I was like, a teenager to being a young adult at the time. And so the movies to me did not have the same impact as the originals. But in the 20 years since Phantom Menace, I've grown to really appreciate the prequels. And in the case of Attack of the Clones, completely reversed my original opinion on it, which was not good. I wasn't very happy with it originally, but I've grown to like it immensely. In fact, I would say that, it and Revenge of the Sith are just kind of comparable in my mind. Revenge of the Sith ultimately is a better movie, but I really do like what Lucas was going for now with Attack of the Clones, minus the dialogue and wooden acting. You can't fix that 20 years later, but I can soften to it a lot more. I'll tell you that. But I understand a lot of kids who grew up with the prequels, those are the ones they saw first. A lot of parents you'll see talk about this. They'll say, oh, well, do I raise my kid on, do I raise him on this or do I raise him on the other or what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. And it becomes this interesting situation. Like, do you start him on the OG trilogy or do you start him on the prequel trilogy? Chronological or release? It's a question. And then in 20 years, are our kids going to grow up with the sequel trilogy and revere them the same way that that people revered the originals and the prequels? It's entirely possible that when that generational gap closes and we go on 20 years down the road, are we going to look back on The Last Jedi, those of us who don't like it now, and go, man, we were wrong. It was a good movie. Because I didn't like Attack of the Clones when it first came out, but I really like it now. And I'm afraid that could happen with The Last Jedi. Anyway, McGregor also talks about the innovative technology that they're going to be using with Obi-Wan. And he says here, the first 3 Star Wars films I did were really at the beginning of digital photography. We had a camera with an umbilical cord to a tent. It was like back to the beginning of movies when the camera didn't move very much because there was so much hardware attached to it. Now we're going to be able to really create stuff without swaths of green screen and blue screen, which becomes very tedious for the actor. And that is one of the reasons why I'm super excited about everything. It's one of the reasons why I'm very excited for the volume stagecraft technology, because when you have actors in front of a green screen, they have to kind of mime, right? They're miming a little bit because they have to imagine what they're seeing. They have to imagine everything that's around. But in this regard, when they're in the volume, they can see it. And when they can see it, their mind can visualize it. And when their mind can visualize it, they can better act around it. And I'm very curious to see what happens with Mandalorian Season 2 as they advance that technology, as it goes into Obi-Wan, as it goes into Thor: Love and Thunder, and whatever else ends up being used for it. I'm gonna be really excited to see where things go. Now, finally, and then we're going to get to some questions for a few minutes. Finally, I just saw this coming in from Twitter, from The Verge. Disney Plus is getting ready to test a group watch feature that is expected to be rolled out later this fall, saying that it would give you and 5 other people, so up to 6 total, the ability to watch something and chat in real time, which I think they're going to do that literally before the release of of The Mandalorian season 2, because a lot of people are going to want to watch it together. They're going to want to discuss it together. And considering that a lot of us who do YouTube are all going to be diving into The Mandalorian when it comes out, doing our instantaneous quick thought reviews as soon as the episode finishes up, and then go into our live streams. You know, it's one of those things where it's going to be fascinating to see how that works out. And I think people are really going to excite it. So if you want to see that, let me know, because I definitely want to be involved with that one. All right. So that's all what I had on that one. I just wanted to run through those stories here. We got a lot to talk about. Okay. So according to Bat Dan here, Dave Filoni not listed as a producer on ObiWan. That's unfortunate. Garrick here asks, what did I think of the Dune trailer? I liked it. I have a whole reaction on this channel. YouTube is not promoting anything anymore, but yeah, it was good. Let's see here. AJ says, for right now, the Kenobi series is a limited series. Yeah, but that could change. Let's be fair. That could change. How many, come on. It's like, if it's popular and nothing else is going on, they might do it. Lewis Cox says Obi-Wan might just be one season, which he's honestly good with. I understand that. So let's see here. All right. Sounds like Serenity here says, sounds like those people who constantly bitch at Campia and the other reviewers who have softened or hardened on a second or third watch. Are you talking about Cuties, or what are you talking about on that one? Because I know Campia was out there talking about the Oscars, the new guidelines, restrictions for the Oscars, which I think are just stupid, to be honest with you. It's not that I'm not against inclusion, but I value meritocracy and the merit of one's work and the merit of one's ability over simply just putting someone in because you're trying to check a box. I just don't I understand that people need a leg up. I get that. And that's where the argument comes from. I think providing opportunities, and encouraging different opportunities is fantastic. But when you make it a mandate, it feels forced. And I just don't like that. And that's just a weird take that I have. But then again, the Oscars are losing relevance left and right anyway. So there's that one. All right. I know Joey asked this earlier. What do I think of the Doomcock drama? So if you don't know what's going on with Doomcock, there's a lot. I haven't talked about it. I want to, because it pissed me off when I heard about it. So effectively, it's like this. There is a guy on BitChute, another content creator by the name of the Commandant. And the Commandant is entirely pro-neo-Nazi, pro-fascist, white nationalist. It is everything you could think of as being bad. And the truth of the matter is, it's Doomcock. All right. It looks like Doomcock. It sounds like Doomcock. It's the same hand gestures, the same shooting style. It's the same pre-scripted video or recording with the mimicked hand gestures after the fact, rather than just doing it live. And his channel was actually created before Doomcock. Commandant was on YouTube. You can find the remnants of the old channel. And Doomcock was recreated, or was created months later. But Doomcock blew up to over 200,000 subs, and the Commandant went to BitChute, where they can more freely express these ideas. In fact, in the most recent Commandant video, which is from July, so just 2 months ago, he openly calls for the murder of Antifa and provides instructions on how to create a kill zone using snipers and a Molotov cocktail. So it's absolutely pro-fascist, pro-violence, which is, in my mind, not freedom of speech, but whatever. And because he's calling for violence. He's absolutely calling for violence. He's denied this on his Twitter, saying that there's only two Doomcock channels. So he doesn't deny having the Commandant channel on BitChute. He doesn't deny being the Commandant. He worded it to where he didn't have to make that claim, but it's enough for his dim-witted dipshit audience to not actually pay attention to. So that's the unfortunate side of that. So that's where we find ourselves with the Doomcock drama right now. It hasn't moved past that. I know people are now looking into it. I know people with much larger channels are looking into it. It's entirely possible that's going to get a lot more play. But what I was fascinated by, and I don't say this to be a compliment, but it shows you how far he's taking this LARP in his own mind. Because I think he's a delusional racist scumbag. He's absolutely a discriminatory bigot. If you ever listen to him live, he talks about the culture war constantly. And I've heard him say some pretty repugnant things. So I don't like Doomcock at all. Point blank, full stop. And I think if you associate with Doomcock on a frequent basis, yeah, you're like that too. You're like that too. And I know like people like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers is not going to admit it. Gary from Nerdrotic is as bad as him, in my opinion. And I've heard them both say things that I'm like, wow, really? Okay. You guys are just playing up this audience now because this audience gives you money. So it is what it is. It is unfortunate. But that being said, we'll have to wait and see what happens with this. We'll have to wait to see where things go. If people talk about it, if any more significant breakthroughs happen. Again, people are now aware of this. And because he's a movie YouTuber who's controversial, and there's this possible connection to a neo-Nazi pro-fascist channel on a competing website, there's that. But what I wanted to say that I found interesting was I looked into the mythology of what the Commandant was about, right? Like the mythology of the base 211 and the mythology of the Vril Society and different things that he kind of crafted in this character. What he's doing is creating this LARP of a fantasy character who lives in Antarctica and attempts to control the masses or speak to the white nationalist masses and give them instructions on how to create dominance and how to instill fear and how to take back the streets, so to speak. And he's doing that in full Nazi regalia. He's got the Black Sun flag behind him, a Black Sun patch on his lapel, the Nazi skull cap on a pendant on his cap. And he's also got it's a Norwegian symbol for death, I think, is another patch. It's like Azil or something like that. I don't remember what it was absolutely called, but that's what it was. And I looked into it. And so I find the LARPing to be interesting, the story, because he's looking at like what the Nazis did during World War II, and he's taking that mindset and he is talking about it, right? Like he's talking about it. But if you think about it, what is Doomcock? Oh, the future ruler of Earth coming to you live from the center of the Earth. The center of the Earth, Antarctica, similar style, similar vocal tones, similar wording, similar hand gestures. I mean, come on, it's absolutely him. Anyone with half a brain would know that it's him. What I hate are the people who know that it's him and they do that wishy-washy bullshit of, well, I don't know. Okay, Ketwalski, like I get your point, but you know what? It's him. You presented it because you know that it's him. Like, just fucking make the claim. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say about that. Let's see here. Do I think that Kathleen Kennedy will leave Lucasfilm once her contract? Well, yeah, I mean, she'll leave Lucasfilm. Yeah, if her contract expires and they don't bring her back, she's gonna leave. They're gonna take her to. She's gonna go back to the Kennedy Marshall Company, whatever her production company is with her husband. She's just gonna do that. Like she's just gonna go back to doing that. Like that's all, and then go back to producing movies. That's all she's gonna do. Alvy here says, I think if Cuties was animated like Big Mouth, it wouldn't be as bad. Yeah, I agree with you. If it was animated, it would be a much different story. But I mean, the thing with Big Mouth is, while it's animated and is definitely aimed at adults, Cuties was aimed to speak to the 11-year-old preteen audience. And Big Mouth doesn't put focus on, while there are elements of naked children in that at times, it's not necessarily a focus. It doesn't become a sexualized focus or even a long-lasting focus. They take great strides to hit you with that and then quickly move away before it becomes. I don't agree with it, but it's like the styles are absolutely different. Let's see here. Okay. Clownfish also always cites Doomcock. Yeah, Clownfish is neon and geeky sparkles. They're fucking stupid. Let's see here. One of your favorite films from the Dune director is Arrival. Brandon, yeah. Denny, I can never pronounce his last name. I'm going to have to eventually learn it. The dude's a fantastic director. Okay, so you said Lower Decks is pretty good. It's not bad, and it's from the writer of Rick and Morty, which is a show you do like. Yeah, I heard that if you like Rick and Morty humor, you like Lower Decks. I need to, I haven't watched it yet. I need to sit down and actually watch it. What do I think about Tessa Thompson coming out and defending Cuties? I haven't read what she said about it, but it doesn't surprise me. Let's see. Once Kathleen Kennedy leaves, who will the fandom menace blame next? Who's the next scapegoat? It depends on who the next leader of it is. If it's not Dave Filoni, they're going to be upset. If it's not Jon Favreau, they're going to be upset. Well, they don't understand the business of Hollywood. They don't understand the business of the situation at all. So obviously it's going to be anything that comes up. Let's see here. All right. Tube Dude says, oh, how I will celebrate when Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson are confirmed gone from SE. What is this SE? From do you mean like SW from Star Wars? When are the pitch black? Soon. I got the footage I need. I was gonna work on it tonight when I get home from work. I'm finishing up my job. So for those of you who don't know, I've been working as an enumerator for the United States Census. So right now I'm a federal employee, and I have to go out and like basically get accurate population counts. And my boss texted me today and was like, "Hey, they want to wrap up by tomorrow." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I still have a shitload of cases, so I don't know what it is you want me to do. I can't, like I had to drive 30 miles out yesterday, one direction, just to go enumerate one address that didn't exist because the previous people that had gone and done it, they don't like no one. They're lazy. Like they're not lazy. That sounds mean. The training is not the best. And so people, they just go out there and they try whatever. Today I've got to go about maybe another 25 miles up to another location, a couple places up there, and then loop back around. And I got to call some HOAs. I got to call some apartment managers. I got to yeah, man, I'll be out. I'll be out from 3 till about 9 or something like that. Which is why I'm not on camera for this. I just, whatever, like this is just more of me to talk to you guys, talk about what's going on. If you like the format, let me know. I don't want this to be super long. We'll go for maybe another couple minutes. I did five individual stories today, but if you guys like this, I'll do more of these, just these chit chats, because I think these are fun. Let's see. Did I see episode 4? Yes, I did. Oh my God, that ending. What the fuck? What the hell, man? I was like nervously laughing. My girlfriend's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "You don't want to know. You don't want to know." But there was, it was a filler episode. Absolutely. I'm going to do a talk of it. I was tired last night, so I didn't do it when I saw it. But I'm going to do one when I get home tonight and talk about the episode, because I feel the episode is really good, but it was a filler episode, 100%. DC fandom tomorrow. What do I think we're going to see there? Dude, I have no freaking idea. I just want a Harley Quinn season 3 announcement. I know that the showrunner nudged HBO Max to talk about that. I think we're going to get a season 3 announcement tomorrow. If not, I riot. If they cancel the show, I riot. I'm just saying. I love Harley Quinn. But that's really all I care about, to be honest with you. I don't know what we're going to get, but when I get up in the morning before I go out and work on the enumeration, I will, I'm going to watch the ones I want to watch, and then I'll talk about those, but I'm not live streaming it, man. No way. Screw that shit. I'm not doing that at all. Have I seen Cobra Kai? No, but it's on my list. So here's what I'm going to be doing. Since I'm not going to do the individual news videos. Okay. I might clip 1 or 2 segments out, like depending on something or another or whatever, like if it's something I really want to put out there. But really what I want to do is I'm going to go through Cobra Kai seasons 1 and season 2. And I'm just going to do these quick reaction talk videos, just like I was doing with the boys, where I'm just talking to a microphone. It's not going to be any video. I'm just going to give you guys my thoughts. And the idea is, for those of you who have seen Cobra Kai, you're going to know what I'm going to be experiencing, what's going to be coming down the pipeline. And by the time we get to season 3, I can do the same thing. But I want to start doing individual episode reviews, because I want to be able to express how I feel per episode, and not just do a lump sum. I also need to watch Raised by Wolves. I got to finish the Dune and Goonies review. I got to go buy Ghost in the Shell 25th anniversary 4K from Best Buy. I couldn't get the Steelbook. I've got to work on the videos for what 4Ks are coming out. Look, here's the thing. With movie theaters wrapping up right now, with movie theaters not going anywhere, dude, physical media is going to blow the hell up. So it's like, I want to get in on that shit. And I love the 4Ks, dude. I was watching Goonies again. It looks great. And so, yeah, there's all that. Anyway, okay, let me just kind of dive through. Look at Matt, the working man. Yeah, 100%. Do I think Netflix should be more wary of what movies they acquire so the Cuties controversy doesn't ever happen again? Yes, but they also benefit off of it directly. They do. They profit off of it. They absolutely profit off of it in free advertising. They profit off of it in people watching the movie. And like, that's how it is. If you want to hurt Netflix, don't cancel, because it's not going to mean shit. Like 20 people canceling doesn't mean a goddamn thing to Netflix. And there's not many people that are canceling because guess what? Their whole family likes Netflix, or they share the password. They're not going to actually cancel. Or if they do cancel, they're just going to re-up again. It's all done. It's all virtue signaling for clout. That's all it is. But don't watch it. Since they value everything off of how many people actually watch it, then there's going to be that. Maybe I'll clip out the cutie segment and post that as its own thing later tonight. Do I think Mystery Men has aged well? Yes, 100%. I love that movie. The Mando season 2 trailer is taking too long. I 100% agree. If I notice that TFM's been real quiet regarding The Boys season 2 after making so much noise about Stormfront being female, I don't know. I don't really follow them. I know Stormfront in the comics is a male. I know that. I think Aya Cash taking on that role is going to be very fascinating because of the dynamic, especially from last night's episode and that brief interaction between her and Homelander. How like we can see now that we know like some more stuff about her, kind of, not everything just yet, but we have a pretty good idea of what's coming, and her manipulation of Homelander and how emotionally distraught he is just in general. I'm like, dude, what they're building up to is going to be absolutely effing wild, and I can't wait. Did I hear The Walking Dead is ending with season 11? I did, and thank God. Are the Karate Kid sequels worth watching? The second one is, yeah, sure. He goes to Japan. You know what I mean? Danielson goes to Japan. It's a good movie. The Karate Kid 3 with Hilary Swank? Nope, pass. The Karate Kid remake with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. As much as I love Jackie Chan, pass for that. Alvi, I talked about the Disney Plus group watch at the last segment of this one. Do I have any steelbooks in my collection? I have a couple. I don't remember the last one I bought, but I buy them when I can get a good deal on them. But I do like steelbooks. I like checking them out. Okay, what do I think of Cali opening some of his theaters this weekend? I wish them luck. I really, really, really do. Let's see. But people like Ian Miles Chonger can't. He's not. He'll get it back. The dude loves American media. I know, we follow each other. I've known Ian for years. Ian used to call himself a turbo feminist. He used to be absolutely a male feminist, like wear like pop collar, pink polo, all that crap. Yeah, that was Ian. So yeah, it's all the same. Anyway, all right, guys, I got to wrap this thing up. I got to go. I got to, there's 3 parts to Daniel's story. Is there? What's the third part? Or no, I thought the Karate Kid 3 was the Hilary Swank one, or did I get that one wrong? It's been a while. You've heard The Boys is not doing well for weekly. Yeah, people are upset that they're not able to watch it all, but you know what, though? Tough titties. All right. Like, I want to binge it too, but I'm also like, cool, let me go week to week. We can have a conversation about it. And maybe I'll do a live stream on Sunday or something when I've got some time where we could talk about episode 4. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Did I hear that Disney filmed the live action Mulan near concentration camps in China? I did. And they absolutely deserve the flack they're getting for that 100%. I completely agree with that one. All right. So the next Karate Kid. I got it wrong. All right. Thank you for reminding me that I need to catch up on my Karate Kid lore. So we'll do all that. But all right, guys, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I'm gonna go and go to work because I gotta leave in like 20 minutes. So I appreciate everyone coming on in. If you haven't already, go to the Facebook group. And then be sure to leave a like. And if you can, come back and leave a comment if you missed something. I'll talk to you all tomorrow, maybe, for DC Fandom. I'll do something for DC Fandom. Have yourself a great day, everybody, and peace out.